成し遂げられたとでも思っていたのか。バカめ。
Goblin Slayer Season 2, Episode 2. So, you know, in all honesty, the best part of this episode, 100,000,000% came at the end of the episode. You know, and the end of the episode was really 𝐒𝐻𝐵𝐿 or Goblin Slayer really reflecting on, I guess you could call it his, I guess you could put it in a category of inability, or like, even though that he wasn't necessarily involved in the thing that he's reminiscing about, and you know, he was involved, but not to the sense of like the way he's kind of like dreading it a little bit. Like, he is 100% involved, but it wasn't completely his failure. But the way he did it, right, and the way he was kind of like really beating himself up about it, it's one of those moments that I think really impacted the whole entire episode and really made the episode what it was, in my opinion. And the first person to notice it was the priestess, because she immediately kind of put that recollection in our brains and made the comparison of this young mage guy, right, who's all full of vigor and spite and anger. And she made the connection between the other mage who died in front of her. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while since I've watched the season 1, but I believe that she was part of her party. And that was the party where she got saved by Goblin Slayer, but wasn't able to save kind of like the rest of them. And the goblins did what the goblins do, kind of thing. And I was like, wow, that's really impactful. The reason I'm starting off the review of episode 2 with that notion, or kind of like, you know, kind of pointing that specific message out, or, you know, or pointing that specific time in the episode out, is because overall, I don't think I really enjoyed episode 2 as much as episode 1. I thought episode 1 was killer, virtually killer. Episode 2 though, like, or episode 1, but episode 2, like, it just didn't hit the same. But the end of episode 2, that little piece that I'm talking about, elevated the episode and made everything I didn't like about it made me like about the episode. You know what I mean? Now, the rest of the show, or the rest of the show, this episode was really like, again, really dramatizing and really kind of like putting out the, hey, we do blood and gore kind of thing, which I do enjoy the moments of like, you know, like those moments of like, oh, I can't believe they went there kind of thing, you know? And this episode specifically, you know, that poor adventurer girl obviously got a choo-choo train, you know, ran on her by these goblins, which, again, it went there. You know, once again, it's gone there multiple times before, but it went there again this episode. And, you know, after so many times of that, and you understand, like, I understand the reasoning behind it in my head is like, oh, they're trying to really drive it home that this is commonplace, that, you know, adventurers, female adventurers specifically, constantly are losing their lives. And some would say much more. You know, 2 of the party members, you know, in our party right now, the priestess and then the elf, especially the elf, have gone through this kind of dramatizing. This is a big issue for female adventurers. And I understand they're trying to, you know, continue to show us that, you know, these goblins are like the pinnacle of evil. They're created by the evil god. They're the of this world. You know, they are the pinnacle of evil of this world among all the other monsters, but these are like the lowest of the low monsters. But, you know, after so many times of kind of seeing that cruelty take place, it loses its shock value, and it almost just becomes like, oh, here we go again kind of thing, you know? Now, I want to make sure that I'm conveying it well. Of like, I love this show. I think this show is awesome. I love season 1. I love the movie, and so far I'm loving season 2. But most of this episode was me kind of complaining about Redhead Boy and his stupidity, and all of that, it's on purpose, right? He's written to be annoying. He's written to be jumping in head first. He's written to be you know, a child, you know, have these tantrums, and he's written to be that way. And I understand that. And in a sense, it's good writing, because the emotion it's driving out of me is annoyance and like, you want to strangle the kid, right? So you want to kick a kid in Kmart. So that's the feeling that I have, and it's written like that again. It's written like that on purpose, but it still annoyed me, and it diluted the episode for me. But again, the ending of the episode, the realization, the flashback, all of that brought the episode up for me overall. So, anyways, I would give this episode a solid 7 out of 10. I don't think it was the best thing. It was riding at like a 5 or 6, but then the end of the episode kind of elevated it for me. And I am excited to see what comes next, especially with now knowing the realization of his sister was a victim, just like Orkbold's sister, a victim, right? His sister was a victim of the goblins, which is what inspires him to hate the goblins. And Orkbold and Priestess Girl have a direct relationship with his sister, or prior relationship, even if it was like small. They know who she was and how she died. So I wonder how that's gonna all come into play as well too. So anyways, good episode overall. Not the best, watchable, pretty good. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. If you were feeling it the whole time, not so much, let me know. And I'll see you for episode number 3. Peace out, my friends.